This is best of 3. We're in the semifinals of this week's EPT Cup Americas, which means, of course, we're on Europe for our 2 European-based players. Spawning in the lower left-hand corner of a Hecate, we have the blue Protoss, MaxPax, one of the best Protosses in the world. And he is up against a very strong Zerg who just took down the 2019 World Champion Dark. To get here, for Starlight Twinkle, it is Wayne. Now, I am excited to see this. MaxPax on the new maps. There's not a ton of new patch stuff to explore at the moment. I'm sure we will see some cheeky things, though. MaxPax, he's a smart player. If he sees a tool that he can utilize to, to win a game, he will use it. He is not afraid to use any tool he has at his disposal. It's what makes him such a tough player to play against. He will absolutely use every little bit. He'll gain every bit of value he can out of everything. And it's very frustrating to play against for a lot of these players. It seems like he's so weak. He's like, oh, it's got 2 units and a shield battery. And it's like, nah, dude, he's going to squeeze the value out of those 2 units and that shield battery and hold whatever you're throwing at him. But Wayne also, very solid player. These guys have had some good back and forths over the years. Seen plenty of them. Wayne, previously known as Ratata, and before that, Vanya. I think Vanya is the one that he's known by the most. I feel like we all called him Vanya a lot, even when he was Ratata. But he's had a pretty solid year. He's had some good results. I'm very interested to see these guys on a new map. New set of maps. Hecate here is a pretty standard map, I feel like. Not a ton to super focus on. The last time we were on this map, we were kind of looking at these bridges, which are kind of cute, but in terms of the actual map design, it's a nice little choke point. You do have the rocks here, making the middle of the map a little bit tough to get through for the Zerg. I think that might be a little bit tough for like Wayne to run around on this map. Oh, this is interesting. I don't think I ever noticed this. We have a partial gold base with 2 gold minerals just chilling at this middle base. Oh wait, no, these are gold minerals too. It's half and half. That's cool. All right. That's what I like about all these new maps. Seem to have 1 or 2 fun little things on them. Whereas I feel like last season, most of the maps didn't have any fun things. There was like 1 map with a fun thing, and everything else was just the standard. This map is pretty standard. I'll be really interested to see how it interacts in the middle, though. The thing about it is the map is very big, so it's not like the middle of the map is right next to a 3rd base or anything, which means that, yeah, it might be tough for Wayne to maybe go through here a little bit, as we see this Ursadak demonstrating the power of this bridge by walking on it. But once he gets out here, it's actually a lot easier for Zerg to handle, and it also feels like it might be tough for MaxPax to move too far away from the middle of this map. You know, if he has like blink stalkers moving in, things like that, trying to clear some of the creep, it might be tough for him to push too far. There's a lot of area in between the bases and the middle zone, which is, you know, this big choke point here, as well as the rocks that blink stalkers and the like can use to their advantage. Now, MaxPax is opening with oracles, taking that 3rd base. Wayne got a nice little kill on that probe, but not going to really stop the 3rd base, just a slight delay. So far, oracles all getting pushed away by the queen count. MaxPax going to dive on top of this. The queen and the spore pushing these oracles away, but he gets a couple of kills. Going to grab 1 more at the 3rd base before getting out of there. Just grabbing a little bit of damage here and there. This is the expected early game stuff. I'm sure Wayne knows that he's going to lose a couple of drones to MaxPax's oracles. The top Protoss players will get drone kills no matter what, really. Ooh, these Lings want to go in, but there's enough Adepts to stop that for now. The Adept's going to finish that Shade. I felt like not a good idea, but Wayne runs away, so I guess it works out. And then behind this, Twilight Council and Forge for MaxPax. Would not be surprised to see him go for those Blink Stalkers. I am really interested just to see how these players use these new maps, though. I don't know how much they've been playing on them. Europe, the Europe server just got the patch like a few hours ago. So we're only just now able to play on the patch on Europe. So a lot of these guys might not have played a ton of games. I'm sure they've looked at the new maps. I'm sure they've practiced a little bit on them. But it takes a while. I think it takes a few weeks to really start to get comfortable on them, to understand the pathing, to make all those little mistakes you're going to make, where you can start to feel very confident in how they play. This is really nice for Wayne, though, finding a little spot to get in here. Stalkers warp in, but these Lings could get some good damage, which they need to, because Wayne has lost 9 drones on the other side of the map. And while the Oracles have come home, here's the real damage. All the units have gone down, and 12 probes getting killed. Oh, man, even poking down those last few. These Lings doing a fantastic job. 15 probes. And a few of them even escape. Very, very nicely done by Wayne, who took quite a bit of damage, but he did enough to make it worth it. And then on the other side, he's getting straight into Hydras, getting the Hydra upgrades here. And those Hydras are going to be able to fight a little more strongly against the Protoss. Now this is a choice. Wayne trying to take that half gold base and get that heavy mining going. But MaxPax, just by happenstance of walking this way, has found the base. It isn't a very common path to move across. I mean, really, it's the only way MaxPax is going to be pushing out is either through here or through here. Unless he kills these rocks, but that's usually not ideal for the Protoss. He could try to move through the middle, but it's a bit awkward to go all the way around this way. We see a few more drones going down. I think he might have just killed another drone that moved out. Wayne wants to come push these Stalkers away now. The Stalkers do have Blink, though, so they'll be able to get back out of there. Nice tag on the Hydras, too. Gives them a little more range of vision. Hydras are a little far away from home. I don't think they want to push out to this. Wayne's going to go ahead and take the 4th over on this side, but of course MaxPax is poised to take a 4th base as well. And that's going to put him in a fantastic economic position against the Zerg, who Wayne's been chilling on 66 drones for a long time. That worker damage he did earlier is really just not relevant anymore. He's waiting for his groove spines to finish up. It's going to give these Hydras an extra range, make them fight a lot better against the Stalkers. Stalkers are going to blink backwards, but we're starting to see some good target fire here, and Wayne is getting some kills. Needs to be careful, though. Oh, nice trigger on that stasis ward. Loses the Hydra, but I think it was worth it. Wayne's going to start to move around the other side. He wants to try to bust these rocks down. Oh, he wants to get a surround. MaxPax is clearing some creep. I don't think he's realized that it was a surround getting set up here. So the Hydra's starting to push in. Link's starting to push in. Can we see the stasis traps get some good catches? They will catch quite a few of those Lings that tried to get the surround. And that's going to allow the Stalkers to blink backwards to this base where a shield battery is being built. Actually, it's a cannon is being built. MaxPax has a lot of Stalkers on top of this ramp, but the Colossi are not done yet. It's 2 of them. They're about to pop. Can they get over here in time to help against these Hydras and Lings? They're so good in this situation. Wayne is pushing hard, but the double Colossus is coming out. Thermal Lance? No Thermal Lance on the way. MaxPax focused on getting units out rather than the upgrades. The Colossi going to make this a lot harder. This is just an all-light army here out of the Zerg. The Oracles on the other side are going to try to get some damage done. They're not that helpful back at home right now. They're just pulling focus, and Wayne is getting pulled all the way back. Wayne, though, still has more army supply. He's heading towards Lurkers now, getting the Infestation Pit for Hive. His economy is not great, though. MaxPax has more workers, and it's 4 bases to 4. Stalkers continuing to poke and prod. Not a lot of Stalkers have died this game. 11. I guess that's a little more than I had expected, but the trades have been quite good for MaxPax so far. And MaxPax's army is getting big and beefy, and without that Hive being done, there's no Vipers here These Colossi are standing tall right now, both literally and figuratively. Feeling very tall as MaxPax is pushing forward, clearing out all of the creep. There's almost no creep here for Wayne. It's just all the way back up his ramps to his bases. That's going to make it very hard for him to take a 5th base. He's even supply blocked now as those Overlords go down. MaxPax starting to push up. He needs to be careful, though. Wayne setting up for a big surround, potentially. He's actually heading just straight across the map. Oh, my God. He's going for the full counterattack, but a lot of units getting caught here. A few lurkers back at home to try to defend his other bases. But the Stasis Wards catching so many units, and the recall, and GG. MaxPax just oppressively keeping Wayne back. The Colossi popping at a perfect time to hold on against the Ling Hydra attack. The Stasis Wards, though, MaxPax has been using those so much lately. And he uses them to great effect there on that map. It's cool to see the new maps. We're not getting a lot of new patch stuff. I don't know if any of those units have actually been changed in the recent patch. So we didn't really get a lot of that kind of stuff. I think in this matchup is not going to be a ton that's like really changed. But the new maps will make things a bit more interesting too. It'll be interesting to see how people try to take advantage of that. We saw MaxPax just utilizing the lack of area that the Zerg could attack from. And while Wayne tried to break those rocks and kind of get us around with the Stasis Wards, even that didn't really work for him. I feel like it was a good idea, though. I think it's a good idea, and in a different situation, maybe that could work very well. Those rocks, I think, are going to be crucial for the Zerg to kill on that map. But we're heading to Oceanborn now for game number 2. Spawning in the lower right-hand corner, up 1-0. It is Psystorm's MaxPaxy. And his opponent, the upper left for Starlight Twinkle, it's Wayne. Oh, what's up, KJ? See you in chat. Yeah, that third game of the series against Steadfast was a lot of fun. I do wish I had seen games 1 and 2. Oh, I love this on this map. There's just the shadow of a giant creature floating above. I love it so much. I don't think you ever see it. Even if we zoom out all the way, I feel like you can't see whatever creature that is. It's too far away. It's just way up high. It's very ominous, isn't it? Creature of the deep. We are in the ocean for this one. We've got all the coral. The bodies will float up when they die, which is one of my favorite things. Who doesn't love that? But other than that, let's take a look at this map a little bit. Just try to keep an eye on things. We have a big choke point in the center. A lot of rocks here. This actually reminds me of another map that I can't quite remember right now that had a similar middle of the map. Lightshade, maybe? Obviously, it's not exactly like that. Just getting kind of those vibes. Big choke point in the middle of the map. It means you have to move around the top or the bottom. Again, rocks that will make it a lot easier to move around the map if you kill them. But even without killing those rocks, you do have some avenues around here. But I think for the Zerg, I'm seeing a lot of rocks in the middle of this map. It's very important to focus those down if you're going for a heavier like Ling composition or anything where you're just massing lots of units. You want that freedom of movement. Killing those rocks is pretty crucial, and some compositions that's easier than others. Lings don't kill rocks particularly quickly, so it might be difficult for Zerg players to get into heavy Ling compositions on these maps. It's just important to remember as we move forward that like a Protoss can really utilize this area to their advantage. And MaxPax is the kind of person that will notice those things. He will very specifically use those and utilize those. And we've seen a lot of the Cyclone action Cyclones are very mobile units. If you see like a Cyclone Hellion composition, the idea is it's very mobile. It moves around the map a lot. The rocks can really hurt those as well. Lings could actually get a huge surround on units as they try to escape back through the rocks. And we've seen that happen time and time again. So in that way, sometimes the rocks can help. It just depends on who's trying to be more mobile, more out on the map, who wants that room to be able to run away and, you know, either not get surrounded or get the surrounds. It's fun to watch the new maps get explored a little bit, and some things that, at least for me, I'll immediately assume like, oh, this is not great for this race or not great for this style. And then some players can really make it work in a way that you wouldn't expect. MaxPax being incredibly annoying here, killing 6 Lings and a drone already, and gets those 2 Adepts out of there. Here's another Stargate opener too. The Oracle going to come help keep these Adepts alive. At least one of them stays up. That's a bunch more dead Lings for 1 more Adept. Let's keep an eye on any potential attacks here coming from Wayne if he wants to try to cancel the third base. Third base does feel a little bit exposed. It's pretty close to the natural wall, though. If we look at the distance here, we're actually quite close, even fully zoomed in. It's just like right here. You have a nice, not a narrow choke point, but not a huge area to defend from. I think this third is going to be pretty solid for the Protoss in this matchup. It's going to be very difficult, I think, for the Lings to get over here. Especially since, yeah, well, I guess you can go straight through, huh? That is something interesting. You can just cut straight through this. This is the only real choke point to worry about. So those Lings can get right through to here. Now, it's hard to tell how big these maps are sometimes without a frame of reference. I'd love to see somebody overlay the different maps on top of each other to get a sense of scale, using maybe some maps from last season. Give us an idea. More gates going down. Actually, quite a few gates going down here for MaxPax as he gets into that blink and +1. This is feeling very similar to last game. Again, I didn't expect the meta of this matchup to change too much. Not a lot of the units that are used most consistently have really been changed until kind of later in the game. I know there's been some Viper changes. Lurkers were slightly nerfed. Yeah, Vipers like suck up less health when they use their consumability. Disruptors, Mothership. We'll see if we end up getting to that late game this time, because we didn't really get there last game. And we didn't really get to almost any of those units. It's going to be a Ling Bane Roach composition out of Wayne this time. Getting into that +1 melee. Roach speed and a Bane Nest on the way. I think this is going to be a lot stronger against the Blink Stalkers. I like this choice a lot. Oh, this is nice as well, using this top corner of the map. Sometimes those areas can get neglected, especially on new maps where you're not as familiar with the whole map. You have these areas you don't really think about as much in MaxPax. Oh, okay, the Lings run home. The Lings run home. They want to get the surround, but oh no, the Stasis Ward again. Coming in clutch. MaxPax still going to have to recall, though. He loses a Stalker on the way out of there. Another very clutch Stasis Trap, though, catching like 10 Lings. And just delaying the surround from hitting, giving MaxPax time to recall out of there. But there's Roaches on the way. The Bane Nest is done. Bane speed is being created. Wayne is starting to bust down rocks. Exactly what I'm talking about. If he can get these rocks down, it could be very, very nice for him. MaxPax, though, he's like, hey, what's going on over here? Trying to bust down some rocks. Stalkers don't like that very much. Wayne knows, though. The rocks are his enemy right now. I wouldn't even hate if he broke these down. Because that's something MaxPax could absolutely use to his advantage. If he wanted to pressure over here and then blink back over the rocks. Oracle's going to dive through, taking a lot of damage on the way. Banelings are being morphed on the left side. Wayne's got a lot of army, and he's building nothing but army right now. MaxPax is getting into the double Colossi again. He's pumping double upgrades. He is getting ready for a late game. But Wayne doesn't want to let the late game happen. Wayne wants to go right now. He is morphing veins. He is filling out the rest of his supply, spending every single penny he has. He's on 70 workers to the 83 of MaxPax, and he's going to dive in, and these Stalkers, they are not in a great spot. The Stasis Trap helping a lot, though. Big force field on the north side, but the Stalkers still have to blink away. The Oracles, I think it's just the one, doesn't have enough energy to really do much here, and that fourth base is now forfeit as the Roaches are getting on top of it. Wayne, though, pulling everything up. He wants to keep pushing. The two Colossi are here. Lings and Banes, though, heading in towards the third base. The probe line is going to get decimated here. 30 probes have gone down. And while MaxPax is holding the natural very solidly, it looks like he's going to lose this base to the last few units. This one's getting targeted down as well. 34 probes have died, and Wayne is going to pull back. He's on 4 bases, and while the Zealot counterattack is getting some damage done, it will get cleaned up. This base stayed alive, though. This is actually a big mistake for Wayne. Not leaving enough units here to get the kill on this Nexus means that MaxPax is on 3 bases, and while he's only on 50 workers, he had such a worker lead for such a long time. With 3 bases, he should be able to pull this back fairly quickly. But Wayne is on 4 bases. I wouldn't hate to see him build a handful more drones. He is heading towards a hive with the infestation pit on the way. He's up a lot of army supply, though, and I think he's going to try to go back in on top of this. But Thermal Lance is about to finish. The 4 Colossi are so powerful. Ooh, and they're just going to roasty-toasty these Lings as they try to come in. I feel like if Wayne's going to go, he's got to go now. There's no shield battery. This army is Stalker Colossus, which is very good, but it's going to just get more and more complex for MaxPax as he's getting more upgrades. He's already on 2-1. Templar Archives going down. Some Archons in here would make this a lot harder to bust. We see stasis traps happening. I'm getting a little worried for Wayne. I think he's giving MaxPax too much time. The heavy Ling Bane composition is going to get roasted by the Colossi. Ling counterattack and the Zealot counterattack going to interact here. Oh yeah, Wayne trying to dive forward on top of this, but Colossi may be a little too strong. That one, though, will go down as it floats up towards us. But Wayne is heading towards the hive. He has droned a little bit up to 76. His 5th base is done. It's on the same side as MaxPax's 5th. I don't know how much I love that. I wonder if this one would have been a safer 5th base to take, just because it's a little further away from where MaxPax might be pushing off from to attack. This base feels very forward and very close to a ramp up to the high ground, which I don't love. Wayne trying to hit on the other side. MaxPax has some stuff over here as well. The hive is done, Adrenal is on the way, and an Ultra Cavern goes down. Those are the first 2 things that Wayne's doing with that hive, as well as +3 melee. Another Colossus pops out. MaxPax building a Warp Prism now. Is he going to try to head across the map, or is this just a harassment prism? I suppose we'll find out. Ooh, Wayne's going to go in. He says, screw it. There's a stasis trap here. The super shield battery turns on, but the Banelings can just smash that. The Roach is diving forward. Good Prism Micro here for MaxPax. He's got a Colossus up on the high ground, but he is losing 15 workers. And Wayne's going to try to target down the base. He will get the base with these last few Roaches. Will he get the base? Will he get the base? Wait, hold on. Oh my god, he stopped targeting down the base at the last second. It had 32 hit points and he stopped targeting down the base. He was focused on this counterattack, which has killed 19 drones. And oh no, Wayne, he was in such a good spot. If he kills that base and holds on here, Wayne's in a fantastic spot. At least he killed that Archon before the recall went down. MaxPax is now pushing out This is a dangerous game for MaxPax, though. Wayne is way up in supply right now. And while this army for MaxPax is strong, it's also very expensive. And neither player's on a good economy. But if MaxPax loses this army, I don't think he's going to be able to remake it. He also has no recall, so he just has to hope the Archons and the Colossi can hold on here. The Colossi getting targeted down by the Roaches, but the Roaches taking a lot of damage in the meantime. The Archons getting caught, and they will go down. Oracle goes down as well, and MaxPax has to pull back, tail between legs, but there's no static defense here, and this base is so low. It's 57 workers to 55 as more Zealots came in. This Prism causing so much damage. And 2 more Colossi are on the way. MaxPax trying to rebuild the good parts of his army. Wayne's not worried about a good army. He's just worried about having lots of it. There's a Viper right next to this War Prism. I don't think it's going to be able to do too much about it. MaxPax, again, just finding little bits of value. As much value as he can. He's keeping Wayne back to deal with this. But there's Ultras on the way. Chitinous has been started. And these are going to be +3 melee Ultras. Only +1 Carapace, but still pretty strong. There's not a lot of anti-Ultra in this army for MaxPax. He's not building any Immortals right now. Because I don't think MaxPax has actually scouted that the Ultra Cavern is done. Yeah, hasn't scouted that at all in the main. So these could be a big surprise, and that could be a really big problem for MaxPax in a moment here. There's going to be a lot of stuff out for Wayne. Rain, thank you so much for the raid, my friend. I appreciate it. Hope you've been well. We have your Protoss friend here. The Protoss hero, MaxPax, trying to hold on against Wayne in game number 2. Wayne so far has done a fantastic job, but some of the counterattacks have made it a lot harder for MaxPax to hold on. And here we go, another one. The Zealots coming in as Wayne wants to move down, but oh, the storms! Oh my god, the weather is so bad, and Wayne loses a lot of those Lings and Banes there for absolutely no value. And at the same time, the Zealots killed this base. MaxPax has held on to this 4th base now twice. It's gotten very low, but it's doing so much for him at the moment. He's going to try to take a 5th. I don't think Wayne's going to let that happen. Wayne has another attack poised up here. MaxPax, though, he's so Archon heavy. The Lings and Banes are just going to be useless against that. Oh, Wayne continues to push in. Over on this side, though, he's hoping to draw the army out of position, and then maybe he can go in with the other side, but MaxPax splits his army very effectively. Oh, Wayne pulling everything, though. He's going to all attack over into this base. He's going for it. There is one Viper here. What is this Viper going to do? It drops a single Blinding Cloud. Not the worst Blinding Cloud, but not the best. That Storm was very good. And Ultra on the backside trying to catch some of these units, but it goes down very quickly. Does Wayne have enough to push through? His supply is 80 above MaxPax, but MaxPax's army is still very dense and very powerful. But the problem is he's lost a base. He's lost 32 probes. And his main, it's completely mined out. His natural, it's getting very low. He's essentially on 1 base worth of mining right now. And Wayne has 69 drones. He is retaking this 6th base, so he will have like 4.5 solidly mining bases. And MaxPax, he is fighting with the last dregs of an army. Oh, those Lings just got absolutely melted at the start of this fight. But is that enough? Are there any storms available? Not yet. They're at 70 energy. These High Templar are so close to having their storms, but it's not quite here yet. There's a couple of storms going down. Going to try to kill these Ultras, putting the finishing touches, but there's just not a lot of gateway units left to support these Colossi. Oh, the base is going to get targeted. This time, Wayne will actually kill it. That was a very painful amount of army he lost there. The trades have been, honestly, very even in this game, but MaxPax just has no economy, and while he killed so much of Wayne's army, Wayne has the economy to rebuild, and MaxPax does not. And Wayne will tie up that series with MaxPax. Wayne, the underdog here, he already took down Dark 2-1, which is, I would say, a pretty big upset. And now tied up 1-1 against MaxPax. Honestly, if Wayne gets to these finals, that's an incredibly impressive result. And I know we're on new maps, new patch, things are different, players might not be used to it, blah, blah, blah. Not much of that, I feel like, had to do with a new patch. There was one Viper. Were any of those other units affected by the patch? Maybe the lack of disruptors? And then that map is not incredibly weird or non-standard. There's nothing super funky that Wayne is taking advantage of. I don't think that's an excuse. I think Wayne's just playing really damn well right now. That is so sick. Now we're getting into game number 3. We're going to Golden Aura. This map is a little more interesting. We haven't had a map like this in the pool in a while. It's symmetrical in a very different way. This is mirrored symmetry, this map. And I'll show you what I mean as we get into it. Spawning in the upper left-hand corner, we have Sidestorm Gaming's MaxPax. And his opponent lower right for Starlight Twinkle, it's Wayne. Yeah, so this map is mirrored symmetry. So if you drew a line straight, not straight, I guess diagonally through this map this way, it would be mirrored on either side. And that's a bit different from what we're used to. We're used to rotational symmetry. I think the entire last map pool was rotational symmetry. So we're very used to that. This map pool, though, we have a few more of this mirrored symmetry thing. And that can lead to some interesting interactions that feel very different. It makes the top and bottom sides of the map feel super different because they are. There's just different stuff going on here. You know, the top side of the map, we have this big area you can't hold. We've got the watchtower here, which is a little more central to the top side of the map than the bottom side watchtower, which really doesn't cover much at all because you can just circumnavigate it. I don't think this watchtower actually covers this whole area here. I'm not entirely sure. It'll be interesting to see how far it goes out. I feel like it's going to be about here, though. But so there's a lot of area that it doesn't cover. And the whole middle of the map, there's no watchtower that covers that. Just some interesting rock formations changed up. This is a very cool map. I like this map a lot. Some options for third and fourth bases will be interesting to see which ones players take. Personally, I feel like expanding southward makes more sense. And yeah, that's kind of what we're seeing from Wayne. So for Wayne, that would be westward. But that means you'd be expanding very close to your opponent. Whereas if you expand north, even if both players expand that direction, there's still quite a bit of space between your bases. Down here, 4 base. Oh, you're getting very close. It's really just this area right here. And I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of attacking through that area in these games. Ah, I'm so happy we have a new map pool. I'm so happy. Another Stargate opener for MaxPax. Again, I don't really expect too much different out of him here. He could try to throw in a cheeky Glade the Depth build or something, but that's more like a hero move, I feel like, than a MaxPax move. And I feel like a lot of this is just starting to really explore these new maps, explore what's possible on them. I imagine players will try to mess around with new patch stuff too. But at least personally, I feel like getting used to the new maps is the priority over focusing too much on coming up with like new builds based on patch stuff. Unless your builds from the last patch got messed up. I mean, Terran's going to have a huge difference. Terran in general, I think, is going to have the biggest difference on this patch. But that doesn't affect this matchup too much, PvZ. This is really nice for Wayne, though. Again, just going to get on top of that probe. Most of the Lings pulling back. Just delaying that base. MaxPax will just go take it again. The Lings come home to defend the Adepts. The Queen's posturing to defend the Oracle. So far, this game going great for Wayne. And MaxPax decides, screw it, I'm taking the other side expansion. And that means we might have kind of a top bottom split here on this map. That could make things very interesting. The Adepts do shade in. The Oracle comes in as well. Not seeing a lot of drones go down, though. Just trading out Lings for Adepts. That means there's a lot less to defend this base, but MaxPax should have enough to hold on. As Wayne comes over here. Uh-oh. Finish that wall up. Oh, the Oracle turned on. The Lings ran away. And yeah, this looks like the same kind of build out of MaxPax. Probably going to be Blink Stalkers again. But yeah, this is kind of cool. So Wayne's going to expand this direction. Now, I guess the question here for MaxPax is, do you try to take this 4th base or keep expanding north? This one's going to be a bit harder to hold. But at the same time, it's way further away from Wayne, who, if he gets this creep spread going, just 1 or 2 tumors out from his base, he's going to be very close to this ramp. And that can make it a lot harder to hold a base at this position if Wayne decides to get aggressive. Or even if there's counterattacks, if MaxPax pushes out this direction, and then Wayne sends a counterattack in here, those Lings get there immediately. I don't know, I kind of feel like MaxPax, maybe this is the base to take. It's just so much further away from the Zerg. It also begs the question, what is Wayne's 5th base? I think the 5th base answer has to be this. And yeah, as I say it, Wayne seems to agree. This is a nice little gold base, but it feels a bit more cut off and a bit more exposed. It's pretty far away from that 4th. So getting the creep over there could be quite tough. Now, I talked about MaxPax going for Blink, but it is actually Charge and +1 on the way with the Templar Archives and a Robo. So MaxPax gearing up for maybe a big Charge Lot Archon kind of build here. And he could do a big 3-base all-in. Those are definitely a thing that can happen. I don't think anything nerfed a big 3-base Charge Lot Archon all-in. Or not even all-in, just a, you know, heavy pressure. Lots of aggressive units. Oh my god. Can we just talk about Artosis pylons here for a second? Finally, a tasteless pylon shows up, but it's only powering like 1 gateway. This one is powering 4 gates, the Stargate, the Forge, the Twilight Council, and the Templar Archives. This bad boy doing a lot. He's got a little bit of support. I think this is just powering these 2 buildings. Crazy. Okay, MaxPax will take this 4th, a little bit closer to his opponent, but it does feel like in general a little bit easier to defend. Oh, this is beautiful from Wayne, though. Gets on top of a morphing Archon. Not only scouting that that's the direction that MaxPax is going right now, but that's a big kill. Lings killing an Archon is huge. Archons are so expensive. Well, MaxPax is here anyways. 10 mutas on the way, but they are only halfway done. This 4th base is in a lot of trouble. Where is the ground army from MaxPax? There it is. There it is. It's all Lings, though, so Charge Lot Archon is going to be so good against it. It is just entirely Zerglings. Stasis Trap again coming in clutch here as MaxPax kills this 4th base. The mutas want to take a fight, but can't really fight this either. Not without the Lings. The Lings looked like they wanted to go for a counterattack, but they need to be here to defend. The Archons and the Zealots coming in, but Wayne, he's going to try to clear it. Can he target down these Archons? His mutas are very stacked. He's going to lose a couple of them, trying to spread a little bit, but the Lings all going down. And MaxPax's army, it's just a little too strong. This push hitting at the perfect time when Wayne just wasn't ready yet. But a big deal here, too, is the lack of queens. Imagine those queens there for transfuses or even just to try to help body block against the Lings. They're going to help out now, and finally, the Archons will go down. Wayne will hold, but he's lost so much. The Zealots killed his 5th base. The army killed his 4th. 23 drones have gone down. MaxPax, in the meantime, is on 80 workers across 4 bases. He's getting into Phoenixes. He's going to rebuild a bunch of Archons. Oh, they're not quite ready yet, though. And a bunch of Zealots going to get caught here. The Phoenix is coming out to fight and push these mutas away. Lings coming in, but the Oracles could turn on and help them out. And I think MaxPax is going to have enough to hold here. Now, with Archons and Phoenixes, he's up to 4 Phoenixes. Not a huge number, but enough to make the Mutas think twice before attacking in. Also to chase them down a little bit if they try to leave. And Wayne is just going to tap out. No climactic battle there. Wayne was hoping he was able to find a way in to counterattack after that big push, and it just wasn't there. MaxPax 2 buttoned up back at home. And that means MaxPax will go on to the grand finals.